Have you ever felt uncertain about your partner's affection? You're not alone. Relationships can be complicated, and sometimes it's hard to know where you stand. That's where Stoicism comes in. This ancient philosophy isn't just about staying calm in the face of adversity. It's also a powerful tool for understanding the people in your life. In this video, we're going to explore 10 Stoic signs that might make you question your partner's affection. These aren't just red flags. They're insights rooted in Stoic wisdom that can help you see your relationship more clearly. Stoicism teaches us to observe without judgment, to separate emotion from fact, and to focus on what truly matters. If you've ever felt like something's off, these signs could help you uncover the truth. We'll look at how to recognize when your partner's actions don't match their words, how to spot emotional distance, and how to trust your instincts without letting fear take over. This isn't about jumping to conclusions, but about empowering yourself to see things as they are. So, if you're ready to dive into some Stoic wisdom and gain a clearer perspective on your relationship, keep watching. These 10 signs might just be the wake-up call you need to understand your partner and yourself better. Let's get started. Sign number 1. Indifference to your needs. Stoicism teaches us that true peace comes from within, not from external circumstances. One of the key aspects of Stoic philosophy is the concept of indifference, specifically being indifferent to things that are beyond our control. This idea can be extended to our needs, especially when those needs are driven by external desires or the expectations of others. Indifference to your needs doesn't mean neglecting yourself or ignoring your basic requirements for survival. Instead, it's about recognizing that many of the things we think we need are actually wants, shaped by society, culture, or our own insecurities. The Stoics believed that true happiness and fulfillment come from living a life of virtue and wisdom, not from constantly chasing after things we think we need. When we become indifferent to these unnecessary needs, we free ourselves from the endless cycle of desire and disappointment. We stop being controlled by our cravings for material possessions, status, or approval from others. This doesn't mean we shouldn't enjoy the good things in life, but rather that we should not depend on them for our happiness. For example, you might feel that you need a certain job, a specific relationship, or a particular lifestyle to be happy. Stoicism encourages us to question these beliefs. Are these things truly necessary, or are they simply things you've been conditioned to want? By practicing indifference to these needs, you can learn to find contentment in any situation, regardless of whether you have what you think you need. This doesn't mean you shouldn't strive for improvement or success, but it's about doing so with a mindset of detachment. You work towards your goals, not because you need them to feel complete, but because they align with your values and your pursuit of virtue. If you achieve them, great. If not, you still remain content, knowing that your worth and happiness aren't tied to external outcomes. Stoicism teaches us that by focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and reactions, we can find true inner peace. When we become indifferent to our needs, we stop being slaves to external forces and start living in alignment with our true selves. This is the path to freedom, resilience, and lasting contentment. So, the next time you feel a strong need for something, pause and reflect. Is this truly necessary, or is it a desire you can let go of? By embracing Stoic indifference, you'll find that many of the things you thought you needed were never essential to your happiness at all. Sign number 2. Lack of shared values. In Stoicism, the idea of shared values is crucial. Stoics believe that living a good life means living according to reason and virtue. This involves having common values that guide our actions and decisions. But what happens when we find ourselves in a world where these shared values are lacking? When people don't share the same values, misunderstandings and conflicts often arise. For Stoics, this can be a challenging situation. Imagine you value honesty, but you find yourself surrounded by people who don't see the importance of telling the truth. This can create a sense of isolation and frustration. The Stoic approach to this problem is to remember that you can't control other people's beliefs or actions, only your own. Stoics teach that in such situations, it's essential to stay true to your principles, even if others don't share them. You should focus on what you can control, your thoughts, actions, and reactions. By doing this, you remain centered and can face challenges with a clear mind. However, Stoicism also encourages understanding and compassion. If someone doesn't share your values, it might be because of their upbringing, experiences, or a lack of knowledge. Instead of judging them, a Stoic would try to understand their perspective. This doesn't mean you have to agree with them, but understanding can help reduce conflict and promote peaceful coexistence. At the same time, it's important to seek out and build relationships with people who do share your values. Having a supportive community can help you stay on the path of virtue. When you surround yourself with like-minded individuals, it's easier to remain committed to your principles, even in a world where shared values are rare. In summary, the Stoic approach to a lack of shared values involves staying true to your own principles, practicing understanding and compassion, and finding support in those who share your beliefs. This way, you can live a good life according to Stoic ideals, even when the world around you doesn't always align with your values. Sign number 3. Avoidance of quality time. Stoicism teaches us the importance of living a good life through reason and virtue, and part of this involves how we spend our time. Quality time is time well spent, moments that enrich our lives, deepen our relationships, and help us grow. But what happens when we avoid spending quality time, either with ourselves or with others? In today's world, it's easy to get caught up in distractions. We might avoid quality time by constantly being busy with work, social media, or other activities that don't truly matter. From a Stoic perspective, this avoidance is a missed opportunity. Quality time is essential for self-reflection, building meaningful relationships, and living in harmony with our values. For a Stoic, avoiding quality time is like avoiding a key part of a virtuous life. When we spend time mindlessly, we fail to live in the present moment. Stoicism teaches us to be mindful of how we use our time because every moment is valuable. By avoiding quality time, we may miss out on the chance to connect deeply with others, understand ourselves better, and practice virtues like kindness, patience, and wisdom. Stoics believe that life is short and uncertain. Therefore, it's important to prioritize activities that truly matter. Avoiding quality time can lead to a sense of emptiness or regret, as we realize that we've been chasing things that don't bring real fulfillment. Instead, Stoics encourage us to spend time wisely, engaging in meaningful conversations, reflecting on our thoughts and actions, and enjoying the simple pleasures of life. If we find ourselves avoiding quality time, Stoicism suggests taking a step back and asking ourselves why. Are we afraid of what we might discover about ourselves? Are we avoiding difficult conversations or emotions? By facing these fears head-on, we can learn to embrace quality time and use it to grow as individuals. In conclusion, Stoicism teaches us that quality time is not something to be avoided, but cherished. It's a vital part of living a good life, helping us connect with others, understand ourselves, and stay true to our values. By embracing quality time, we can live more fully and find deeper meaning in our everyday lives. Sign number 4. Lack of emotional support. Stoicism is a philosophy that teaches us to find strength within ourselves, especially when facing difficulties. But what happens when we lack emotional support from others? Emotional support is important. It helps us feel understood, cared for, and less alone. However, Stoicism offers guidance on how to deal with this challenge when support is lacking. According to Stoicism, our well-being shouldn't depend entirely on others. While having emotional support is valuable, Stoics believe that true strength comes from within. This doesn't mean that Stoics don't value relationships. They do, but they also recognize that people might not always be there for us when we need them. When we feel a lack of emotional support, Stoicism encourages us to turn inward and rely on our own inner resources. This means focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, attitudes, and reactions. Instead of feeling helpless, we can use these moments to build resilience and practice self-reliance. Stoics teach that we have the power to shape our own responses to life's challenges, even when we feel alone. In times of emotional struggle, Stoics suggest practicing self-compassion. It's important to be kind to ourselves and recognize that it's okay to feel hurt or disappointed. By acknowledging our emotions without letting them control us, we can maintain a sense of inner peace. Stoicism also encourages us to find comfort in nature, philosophy, or activities that align with our values. However, Stoicism doesn't deny the importance of seeking support when it's available. Stoics believe in the value of community and friendship. They encourage us to form relationships with people who share our values and can provide mutual support. If you lack emotional support in one area, try to build connections in other ways, through new friendships, hobbies, or even by joining groups that share your interests. Ultimately, Stoicism teaches that while emotional support is helpful, it is not the only source of strength. By cultivating inner resilience, practicing self-compassion, and seeking meaningful connections, we can navigate the lack of emotional support with grace and dignity. This approach helps us become more self-sufficient, allowing us to face life's challenges with confidence, even when we feel alone. Sign number 5. Non-reciprocal communication. Stoicism is a philosophy that helps us manage our thoughts, emotions, and actions with wisdom and reason. One challenge many people face is non-reciprocal communication, where the effort to communicate is one-sided. You might find yourself always being the one to reach out, listen, or support others, but not receiving the same in return. This can be frustrating and disheartening. However, Stoicism offers valuable insights on how to approach this situation. In Stoicism, the focus is on what we can control, our own actions, thoughts, and reactions. We cannot control how others respond to us. When faced with non-reciprocal communication, Stoicism teaches us to accept that people may not always give back what we offer. This doesn't mean we stop being kind or considerate, but we should adjust our expectations. A key Stoic principle is the idea of giving without expecting. When we communicate or offer support, it's important to do so from a place of genuine care, not because we expect something in return. By letting go of the need for reciprocity, we can find peace in our actions alone. This mindset helps prevent disappointment and keeps us focused on our own virtues, like kindness and patience. Stoicism also encourages us to be mindful of our energy. If you notice that your efforts are consistently not returned, it might be wise to step back and reflect. Ask yourself if this relationship is balanced and if it's worth continuing to invest in. Stoics believe in surrounding themselves with people who share their values and contribute positively to their lives. If a relationship feels one-sided, it may be time to set boundaries or focus on those who reciprocate your efforts. At the same time, Stoicism promotes understanding and compassion. People may not always communicate or reciprocate as we expect, often due to their own challenges or limitations. A Stoic approach is to understand these differences without taking them personally. By doing so, we maintain our inner peace and avoid unnecessary conflict. In summary, Stoicism teaches us to handle non-reciprocal communication with grace and wisdom. We should focus on our actions, give without expecting, set healthy boundaries, and practice compassion. This way, we can communicate effectively and maintain our peace, regardless of how others respond. Sign number 6. Overemphasis on physical aspects. Stoicism is a philosophy that teaches us to focus on what truly matters in life, our character, virtues, and inner peace. However, in today's world, there's often an overemphasis on physical aspects, such as appearance, material possessions, and external success. Stoicism offers a different perspective, reminding us that these things are not the most important. In Stoicism, the focus is on the mind and soul rather than the body or material wealth. Stoics believe that physical appearance and possessions are temporary and outside of our control. They can change at any moment, and basing our happiness on them can lead to disappointment. Instead, Stoicism encourages us to cultivate inner qualities like wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline, things that no one can take away from us. When we place too much importance on physical aspects, we risk losing sight of what really matters. For example, if we focus too much on our appearance, we might neglect our relationships, personal growth, or moral duties. Stoicism teaches us that it's okay to care for our bodies and enjoy material comforts, but these should not become the center of our lives. True happiness comes from living according to our values, not from how we look or what we own. Stoics also emphasize that our worth is not determined by our physical attributes or possessions. Society may often judge people based on these things, but Stoicism teaches us to look deeper. What matters is how we live our lives, whether we act with integrity, treat others with kindness, and strive to improve ourselves. This inner character is what defines us, not the external things that can change or be lost. Moreover, Stoicism helps us manage the fear of losing physical aspects. Whether it's aging, losing wealth, or facing illness, Stoicism reminds us that these are natural parts of life. By accepting this, we can reduce anxiety and focus on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and attitudes. In conclusion, Stoicism teaches us not to overemphasize physical aspects. While it's natural to care about our appearance and enjoy material things, these should not overshadow the pursuit of virtue and inner peace. By focusing on what truly matters, our character and how we live, we can find lasting fulfillment and live a life aligned with Stoic principles. Sign number 7. Frequent criticism without constructiveness. Frequent criticism without constructiveness is like constant rain without a rainbow. It can wear a person down, leaving them feeling disheartened and lost. Stoicism teaches us that while criticism is a natural part of life, it should be aimed at helping us grow rather than tearing us down. When someone criticizes without offering solutions or guidance, they miss the opportunity to help others improve. Such criticism often stems from a place of frustration or negativity rather than a genuine desire to assist. As Stoics, we should strive to respond to criticism with calmness and clarity. Instead of reacting defensively or with anger, we can choose to see if there is any truth in the criticism. If there is, we can work on improving ourselves. If not, we can let it go, understanding that not all criticism is valuable. It's also important to remember that when we criticize others, we should do so with kindness and a focus on helping them grow. Constructive criticism offers feedback that is specific, actionable, and meant to uplift rather than demean. It's about pointing out what can be improved while also acknowledging what is already good. Frequent criticism without constructiveness is harmful because it creates a negative environment where people feel attacked rather than supported. It can lead to resentment, low morale, and a lack of motivation. In contrast, when criticism is given with the intent to build someone up, it becomes a powerful tool for personal and collective growth. Stoicism reminds us that we cannot control others' words or actions, but we can control how we respond to them. By focusing on what we can learn from criticism and discarding what is unhelpful, we protect our inner peace and continue to grow as individuals. Sign number 8. Unwillingness to resolve conflicts. Unwillingness to resolve conflicts is like living with a constant storm inside. Stoicism teaches us that avoiding conflict doesn't bring peace. It only postpones the inevitable and allows problems to grow bigger over time. When we refuse to address issues, we carry the weight of unresolved emotions and misunderstandings, which can affect our relationships, work, and overall well-being. Stoics believe that conflict, when approached with wisdom and calmness, can be an opportunity for growth and understanding. It's not about winning or losing, but about finding a path forward that benefits everyone involved. When we face conflicts head-on, we allow ourselves the chance to learn from others, to see different perspectives, and to strengthen our character. Avoiding conflicts often comes from a place of fear of confrontation, fear of upsetting others, or fear of being vulnerable. But Stoicism encourages us to embrace courage and honesty. It's better to have a difficult conversation now than to let the issue fester. Even if the discussion is uncomfortable, it can lead to resolution, clarity, and stronger relationships. Resolving conflicts doesn't mean that we have to agree with everyone. It's about finding common ground, understanding each other's viewpoints, and moving forward with mutual respect. When we're unwilling to resolve conflicts, we miss out on the chance to improve our relationships and our own self-understanding. Stoicism reminds us that inner peace comes not from avoiding challenges, but from facing them with a calm and thoughtful mind. By addressing conflicts directly and with a willingness to understand, we free ourselves from the burden of unresolved tensions and create a more harmonious life. Sign number 9. Inconsistency in actions and words. Inconsistency in actions and words is like a boat trying to sail in two directions at once. It ends up going nowhere. Stoicism teaches us that our words and actions should align because consistency is the foundation of integrity and trust. When we say one thing and do another, we not only confuse others, but we also weaken our own sense of purpose and character. Consistency means that our principles guide our behavior, no matter the situation. If we claim to value honesty, but then tell lies when it's convenient, we're not living true to our values. Stoics believe that living in harmony with our values is key to a good life. This harmony creates inner peace because we know we are acting in line with what we truly believe. Inconsistency can also damage our relationships. When people see that our actions don't match our words, they begin to lose trust in us. Trust is hard to build but easy to lose, and once it's gone, it can be difficult to restore. Consistent actions show others that we are reliable and true to our word, which strengthens our connections with them. Stoicism reminds us to be mindful of the promises we make, not only to others but also to ourselves. If we commit to something, we should follow through. If circumstances change and we can't keep a promise, we should communicate openly and honestly about it. This way, we maintain our integrity and the respect of those around us. Moreover, being consistent in our actions and words helps us become more disciplined. It teaches us to think before we speak and to act with intention. Over time, This builds our character and makes us more resilient in the face of challenges. Ultimately, Stoicism encourages us to be the same person in every situation, whether we're at work, at home, or with friends. When our actions and words are aligned, we live authentically, and this authenticity brings us closer to a life of virtue and wisdom. Sign number 10. Disregard for your happiness. Disregard for your happiness is like ignoring the sunlight while seeking warmth. Stoicism teaches that happiness is not found in external things, but within ourselves. When we disregard our happiness, we're neglecting one of the most important aspects of a good life. Stoics believe that true happiness comes from living according to our values and virtues, not from chasing temporary pleasures or avoiding discomfort. Some people think that being selfless means ignoring their own happiness for the sake of others. But Stoicism teaches that we must care for ourselves too. If we don't prioritize our own well-being, we can't fully support or help others. Ignoring our happiness can lead to burnout, resentment, and a feeling of emptiness. It's not selfish to seek happiness, it's necessary for a balanced and fulfilling life. Happiness in Stoicism isn't about constant joy or avoiding all negative emotions. It's about finding contentment and peace in the life we live, no matter the circumstances. This contentment comes from accepting what we cannot control and focusing on what we can, our thoughts, actions, and responses. When we disregard our happiness, we might focus too much on things outside our control, leading to frustration and unhappiness. Stoics also believe that our happiness should be rooted in virtue, living with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. When we live virtuously, we create a stable foundation for happiness that isn't shaken by external events. Disregarding our happiness often means we're not living in accordance with these virtues. By paying attention to our happiness, we're not just seeking pleasure, but we're also striving to be the best version of ourselves. It's important to remember that our happiness and the happiness of others are not mutually exclusive. We can pursue our own happiness while being kind, compassionate, and supportive of others. In fact, when we are truly happy and at peace with ourselves, we are better equipped to bring joy and support to those around us. In the end, Stoicism teaches us that our happiness is within our control, and it's something we should nurture. By caring for our own happiness, we live a life that is true to our values, balanced and fulfilling. Disregarding our happiness only leads us away from the path of a good and meaningful life. As we wrap up, remember that Stoicism is not just about understanding others, it's about understanding ourselves first. The signs we've discussed today are not meant to create doubt or conflict, but to encourage self-awareness and healthy communication. Relationships, like anything valuable, require reflection, honesty, and sometimes tough conversations. If you find yourself questioning your partner's affection, ask yourself first, are these concerns based on reality, or are they influenced by fears or assumptions? Stoicism teaches us to separate what we can control from what we can't. We can control our thoughts, our actions, and how we choose to communicate with our partners. We can't control their feelings or actions, but we can seek clarity with calmness and reason. Take these Stoic signs as a guide to explore your relationship more deeply. Whether it's through open dialogue, personal reflection, or simply observing with a clear mind, use these insights to strengthen the bond you share. After all, a relationship built on understanding, respect, and mutual affection is a foundation for lasting happiness. So if you're ever in doubt, take a moment, breathe, and approach the situation with the wisdom and calmness of a Stoic. Remember, the goal isn't to find flaws, but to nurture a love that is true, strong, and aligned with your values. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights on living a balanced and thoughtful life. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.